I'm very curious what Brent Brennan has to say about this, but I was told this on Thursday. We had a couple other people that Matt Adkins had a very much more involved role with the offense this going into this game, and we will see exactly what is actually put out there about what his role is. But you might say to yourself, Mike, who is Matt Adkins? Well, guess what? Matt Adkins is going to be the back the A player of the game. We are going, I apologize on that. We are presented by NUTRL. We are going with Matt Adkins here. You might say to yourself, Mike, who's Matt Adkins? Well, we're going to get into that in a second, but there was a lot of buzz about him and what he was doing before what he was going to be doing before the season or before this game. This is your back the A performance of the game. This segment is powered by NUTRL. Keep it tasty, Tucson. Enjoy responsibly. We also have a little bit of a little bio about who Matt Adkins is, if you could bring this up. But a big part of what was going to be talked about was that the tight end was going to be utilized this game. You can obviously see that he has a track record with this. Scheer, I heard this on Thursday. We talked about it, and if Matt Adkins was calling the plays, we got to give him a lot of credit on this because the offense, while far from perfect, looked much, much different.
Yeah, by the time the game came around, it was basically an open discussion amongst the media. I know that I think a couple reporters in the process of asking Brennan, and I'll keep an eye on it. At the very least, Adkins had a larger role. And Brennan, to his credit, Mike, on Monday, he said they used the bye week to really dive into the offense, to figure out if teams were figuring out their tendencies, to look at why the tight ends weren't getting the ball, to use the running backs in the passing game more. And the offense looked better. And I know people are still complaining about the offense and all that, but I think, you're kind of missing the plot here a little bit because Utah's defense is phenomenal. You don't just go into Salt Lake City and drop 35 points on them, like 23 points at Utah. What I say the magic number was on your show, I said 24, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If Arizona's going to have a chance, it has to score 24 points, and it didn't have to, but that's the number.
It looked like it had an identity, right? Because I think that was the biggest thing when you watched Arizona in all three of its games. You kind of wondered, what are we trying to accomplish offensively? You saw some pre-snap motion. You saw Arizona get the tight end involved. Burnett had the game of his life today. Mm-hmm. The run game had 5.5 yards per carry the backs were averaging. There was a point where Arizona was just running it down their throat. I think they were averaging between 8 and 9 yards. So everything looked a lot more fluid. And I think that's the biggest thing that we've had our complaints about, to start the first couple of weeks here of the season is this offense just looks like it fell off a cliff overnight. So it sounds like there was a fire lit in that coaching staff room over the bye week, to Scheer's point. And again, Noah Fifita, well, certainly not perfect. The throws that he made tonight, man. No, this is the Noah Fifita we saw last year. I know there were some questions last week, but I would only imagine, Mike, this offense is going to get better. On paper, it doesn't look great, but when you look at the balance and you look at what they did in key spots, the offense played great tonight.
I said that I thought Arizona would split this trip, and I backed off it, and I apologize. I shouldn't have backed off it. I should have backed the whole way.
But Noah Fifita, this is the dude that, like, and Greg Biggins always says, and we got to give Greg Biggins a lot of credit here. What is that guy now? But he said, and he has gone through all of the top-ranked quarterbacks on the West Coast. And I'm always going to say this story, whether that's Josh Rosen, heck, whether that's DJ Uiagalelei. But, and he said, if the chips are down, I don't care how anything goes. The one dude I want leading a drive is Noah Fifita. And you have got to give Noah Fifita that because, man, even after that pick, that was a rough pick, he came and he made some massive throws to Devin Hyatt and to Kean Burnett. Guys, those were fantastic. Those were massive. And Mr. Tyler Warden says maybe the best throw of Noah's career. I don't know that I disagree with that.
Yeah, it's up there, right? And people have to realize, too, like, Utah coming into this game, Mike, is averaging 3 sacks a game. They have a guy that was leading the country in sacks in Van Fillinger, right?
Right.
Van Fillinger had 4 tackles. They didn't have a sack, Mike.
Right. I was looking at that before,
Utah defense didn't have a sack. And Noah was pressured because every quarterback would be pressured, but he never loses his composure. That's the thing. He makes bad throws. He's human, but you never see him flustered. Still to this day. And today, he just kept his calm. We're all crapping on him when he throws the pick. He gets right back in there, and does what he does, and Arizona wins the game.
Ben One White.
Well, look, it took only 80 yards and 2 throws to go down the field. It was that 3rd and 11 to Hyatt where he got absolutely destroyed by the Utah defender on the hit. But again, right, timely throw, stayed calm, stayed in the pocket, made the throw downfield, and then the pressure as well. I mean, that pass in that touchdown was just insane. I mean, he scrambles to the right, throws across his body. The offensive line for Arizona, while I thought improved in spots at times tonight, did him no favors in a play like that. And somebody like him is elusive. He can extend plays. And while he does have a bad throw or two at times, he's certainly not reckless. He keeps his eyes down the field. And, despite the size, despite the limitations that some people want to say he has, looks pretty good to me. He has the arm, has the accuracy, and he kept Arizona in that game in the 3rd quarter. If those 2 throws don't happen, I'm not sure Arizona wins this game, Mike.
We all silly like the mayor.